Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. We're your hosts, Dominic Dougherty and Drew Fasy.
And we are your local guys.
I wonder if I have to go like this, but I don't know if it works the same
No,
as
you
it
did.
does.
You did it right.
All right,
you were right on.
just making sure. I was on a streak there. I didn't want to end my streak.
You're still on a
So,
roll, buddy.
That's good. That's good. Well, welcome everyone to another installment of our election coverage here in Ocean City for the 2026 election cycle. Joining us today is the current mayor, Jay Gillian, who's up for re-election. Mayor Jay, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us today.
No problem.
So it's going to be the same format as it is for everyone. Drew's going to ask the questions. I'm going to keep the time. Drew and I are going to, deflect from our normal banter so that we remain unbiased. So I messed up in another one, Mayor, and said bias by accident.
It's okay.
And I'm still feeling bad for it.
Hey, look, we're humans. We all make mistakes.
That's right.
Yeah. So the same thing in time. Drew's going to ask the questions. I'm going to keep time. So Drew, I'll turn it over to you and we'll get started.
Okay, here we go. So, Mr. Mayor, we're going to start out with 3 questions that are just yes or no answers. Okay. Yep. First one: should the city implement a residents-only parking permit system for the downtown streets during the summer?
No.
Okay. Number 2: jitney service across the 9th Street Bridge. Yes or no?
No.
Number 3: some residents and visitors think that Ocean City is losing a competitive opportunity to places like Summers Point and Margate by not offering alcohol consumption at publicly accessed restaurants. So BYOB in Ocean City, yes or no?
No.
Okay. All right, on to the.
So it's so hard not to comment on this. It's so.
I know that's again because. It is hard because it's easy to say no, but there's reasons why there's no, but that can be another time.
So hard. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right, Dom. You're right.
Because really, guys, it is hard to have no, because the voter, well, like I said, let's not digress. Let's stay on track. I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I was
all right. So we have we have I'm sorry so much for no banner, Dom. We have.
No, believe me, I like it. Keep it up. That's your guys.
So we have six of our main questions, and after each of these, you have up to 2 minutes to fully answer. Okay. All right. Number 1: the city's 2026 to 2030 capital plan proposes over $42 million in projects for the next 2 years alone, including flood mitigation, the new airport terminal, and pickleball expansions. If of a recession or decrease in state grant funding occurs, how will you prioritize these projects?
Well, first of all, we do that every year, and it is a capital plan. So just because it's in a plan doesn't mean it's going to, get done. It's just a way to plan for our future. But to me is, if you're talking about projects, it's quality of life. So it would be, always it would be about the flooding, beach replenishment, back bay dredging, all those kind of things. So, but to me is, for last, I guess, 14, 15 years since we've had a capital plan, it's something we do every year because it's not just, we've had a COVID, we had Superstorm Sandy, we get thrown. Our healthcare could be skyrocketing. So to me, it's one of those things where every year you have to decide that. So it wouldn't just happen, whether or not there was inflation or, whatever.
Okay. Question number 2. Our downtown is thriving, but we still see a ghost town effect from November to March. Some residents have suggested offering tax incentives or rebates for businesses that commit to staying open at least 5 days a week, year round, and until a later time of day, say 6 or 7 p.m. Would you support using municipal funds to subsidize year-round business operations, or should the market dictate when shops open and close?
Look, it's tough to be downtown, but to me, as ghost town, I don't know who's saying that, but at the end of the day, is out of out of the state of New Jersey, we're still #1 downtown Main Street. They did a top 10 and Ocean City was 7th in the country. We were the only one in New Jersey to get that. So to me is, you have stores that redo their things, but the downtown's thriving. So, to me, that's a social media kind of question that people that really are not paying attention to downtown. But I think we have a couple stores that have been out for a while, but they're just, it's tough. It's tough to have a small business in New Jersey. And again, I think our downtown's thriving, but I don't think the taxpayers should get involved in any of those kind of things.
Okay. Question number 3. The backpack rules and the 11 p.m. curfew for minors have helped, but boardwalk business owners still report issues with large groups of teens during peak summer weekends. Given the state's strict laws on how police can interact with juveniles, what is your plan moving forward to keep the boardwalk safe and family friendly without turning the island into a police state that scares away younger tourists?
Wow, that was a big question here. So let me try to me, as we've been doing it, we've always done it. No matter what, we talk to our police chief, we talk to our prosecutor, we talk to the attorney general. So to me, we're never going to be a police state. And the fact that, some boardwalk merchants say that, I think the majority, when you talk to boardwalk merchants, are very happy on what we're doing. And everything that we've done has helped. So the boardwalk's been great. I mean, it's been, it's been contained. I think our guests are having a great time. So to me is that I'm surprised that's even a question, to be honest with you, because I don't see that up on the boardwalk. And, I've been up there my whole life.
Okay. Question number 4. Ocean City and Strathmere recently took the rare step of declaring local states of emergency due to severe erosion that has left some North End homes vulnerable. If federal money doesn't hit Ocean City's bank account by May 1st, is the city prepared to spend its own money to truck in sand, and how might that impact the 2026 or 2027 tax rate?
Well, I'll answer that 2 ways, because I don't want to disrespect the other 2, because they didn't get the news that we have. We got the money. But even before that, we were harvesting sand, and we were going to be ready for the 2026 season. And again, it's really just the north tip, from the north end down to, 12th Street, 11th to 12th Street. But, we're going to be in good shape now. The money's coming. They're being very aggressive. They're fast tracking everything. So sooner than later, we're going to have the dates on when they're going to be doing the replenishment. But if we had not, the money's there. So, we've got that guaranteed. But if they had not, we would have been ready. We would have done whatever it takes. And that's what we do. I mean, every year, we have erosion every year. We harvest, we maintain our beaches. And, again, that's another social media thing. You take one picture and you blow it out. We have 8 miles of amazing beaches. And the South End, when we were growing up, remember how there was no beach down there. So over this administration, we have done an amazing job with the beach. And it's also because of our relationships with our congressmen and all our public officials, the DEP, the Army Corps. We just got off the phone with the Army Corps yesterday. We're going to be talking to the DEP tomorrow. So again, that's where experienced leadership comes in, guys. So.
Okay. Question number 5. If there was a project presented by the owner of 600 Boardwalk that included public space, amusements, retail, ample parking, and a hotel with a number of stories that was considered a compromise from the original concept presented, could you support such a project?
Drew, you've known me for a while. I'm about getting the facts. And from the beginning, the owner and council should have gotten into a room and figure out what works for everybody. But that's not what happened. A lot of the processes, it got very emotional, and it's a shame because, 34th Street, there was a project, they came in, they talked to everybody, and then, it worked out perfectly. So to me is, with 600 Boardwalk, I want something spectacular. But to make a decision or give an opinion on just what could or couldn't happen, that's very dangerous for a mayor to do. My job is to give facts and follow those facts. But for me, it was like the windmills, like, oh, is he for and against it? My job is to give the facts to everybody in the city and then make their decision. But for me to just say, hey, if they do this, if, as the mayor, you can't live on ifs. You got to be prepared and ready. But again, this was a legislative, this was a council issue. And at the end of the day is the two of them should have gotten into a room and should be getting in a room right now, even though you have committees and everything else going on. Leadership gets in a room and gets things done. And this is legislative, and this is from the council. So, I hope they're doing that.
Okay. And the final question: for the first time in recent history, voters have 3 options for mayor with experience in local government. What is one specific thing about your leadership style that sets you apart from the other 2 candidates?
Well, honorability, experience. I mean, think of what we've done over the last 16 years, and I'm proud of it. In Superstorm, COVID, derechos, high health care. I mean, everything has been thrown at me, and we've had, an amazing success rate, and we've gotten everything done. We're just finishing up on the police station. So everything that no one before me could get done, we got done over the last, 10, 15 years. So I'm very proud of that. But to me, it's, it's leadership, and it's listening to people, putting experts around you. I have a great professional administrative staff. So to me is, there's a difference between being a mayor and a councilman. And I can tell you, they have no idea what it takes to be a mayor, because this is a 24/7 job. And again, Drew, you've been around me a little bit more. You know how, I take this seriously, and my bar's high. I'm not a politician. I get my hands dirty, and I'm honorable and honest. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And 9 times out of 10, when you're honest and you tell people, they don't sort of like what you tell them, because people want to hear what they want to hear. And I will never do that. And I think I've proven that over the last 16 years.
Okay, Dom, that was the last question, buddy.
All right. Well, Jay, we'll turn it over to you. This is your 2 minutes to, reach the voters, let them know anything that we didn't answer, or, go from there.
Yeah, no, first of all, I want to thank you guys. But to me is, if this was on getting things done, this election should be a landslide. And the 2 guys that are running have been with me most of the time. So to me is, we have a great town. I think our quality of life has been unbelievable. Every year it changes. I mean, we've been changing every year since I've been here. So, I mean, to me is that it takes strong leadership, understanding. You got to know your community, and this community is chopped up in a bunch of little neighborhoods, which is great. But, when you live here your whole life and you see the people and how things grow, and, you come in contact with the people, Ocean City is a great town, and we got nice people here. It's a shame we have the minority that go on Facebook that don't even live here to try to tear us apart. But, unity in the community has always been my thing. And I think that's why I do. I unite everybody and unite people, even if they don't want to work with me. You just got to be able to listen and figure it all out. And we do. I don't want to hear what the problem is or who's to blame. Come up with a solution. That's what I'm all about. This world, I'm so tired of the negativity and who's to blame, or this is your fault, or, it just is exhausting. And my team, we're always positive. We want to, fix anything that we can. And to me, I'm not a no person. I don't like when my staff says it can't be done or no. So, but that's really about it. I think, again, my record speaks for itself. And like I said, I don't mean to be arrogant, but this should be a landslide election for our administration, because your quality of life from what it was back in 2010 to what it is right now, all your homes are worth more. We have more services than we've ever had. We take care of our seniors to our grandkids. So, I mean, there's not too much. And I want to continue doing that. We're going to be putting a pump station in down at the south end. I want to continue that quality of life that everybody enjoys so much. So, but that's about it, guys. That's my soapbox.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. And again, I like the banter back and forth. I think that's what makes the show. So.
You just reminded me. I didn't put my banner up the whole time. That's what somebody.
You got to pay the bills.
Yeah, somebody does. So,
all right, guys. Well, thank you very much. And again, I'm always around if you need anything.
Thank you. We appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry, Matt, we didn't get the banner up enough this time, but I'll make up for it on other episodes, I promise. This has been the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. Peace.